him. Let's
deep
listen in.
respect and admiration for our caregivers, particularly our hospital workers, our alternative care workers, those working in nursing homes, large and small, all throughout the state of California. Those are the real heroes of this moment. And we need to talk more about care for our caregivers. We have talked rhetorically about meeting their needs as it relates to providing psychological first aid by extending our hand of appreciation, a good word, kind of support that we all need, a little bit of moral support. But we need to do more than that and provide the kind of support that increasingly is needed for a workforce that is deeply stressed out, deeply stretched. Families that have been broken apart because their loved ones are spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, attending to the needs of others and not able to come back home, in many cases sleeping in their cars overnight, in other cases unwilling because they've been exposed to this virus to even want to expose their family back at home and are spending their own money to go to a motel or a hotel overnight. We've heard countless examples of these stories. And instead of continuing to absorb those stories, we wanted to do something more and do something better. And so I'm really pleased today to announce an effort in the state of California to directly support those caregivers, those healthcare workers, those frontline heroes, by providing them vouchers and stipends, and in many cases for low-wage workers, 100% reimbursable costs at hotels all up and down the state of California. We currently have in inventory over 150 hotels that have been part of a bulk purchasing of room program through our Department of General Services. Some of the nicest and finest hotel chains in the world are participating in this program, providing deep discounts to the state of California. And we will extend those deep discounts directly to our caregivers. And in other cases, again, for low-income workers, we'll provide 100% reimbursements so that they're allowed to stay closer to their patients and provide them the opportunity not to worry about being out of pocket or worry about exposing their families or, God forbid, worried about another night sleeping in their car so they can stay closer to the needs in their communities. Let's remember, people are commuting for an hour, hour and a half in the good days. And the idea that you're doing a 12-hour shift and at 2, 3 in the morning have to drive all the way back home only to get right back up and do a double shift early in the morning, that's not appropriate and that's not right. We need to do better for these workers. And so I'm very pleased that we have put together a new website, CalTravelShop, or rather CalTravelStore.com. CalTravelStore.com is the site that will have the list of these 150 plus hotels. Every day we're getting more hotels to participate in this and make available these vouchers for those individuals. Lower wage workers, richer supports, the higher wage workers, deep discounts across the panoply of our healthcare workforce. I want to also thank the airlines that have also stepped up. United Airlines, they reached out to us and they said, you know what? We read about the Health Corps website that you put together, all now 86,516 individuals strong. 86,516 individuals have signed up on our healthcare site. And United Airlines called and said, if you have folks that are traveling into the state that want to be part of that Health Corps, we want to take care of their travel costs. 100% round-trip tickets, no matter where they are at any point of the globe, not just across the United States or within the state of California. And I just want to thank United Airlines for stepping in a big way to help that workforce address the other anxiety, which are travel costs, not just accommodation costs, hotel costs. No sooner, by the way, than United reached out, and we got a call from Southwest Airlines, Alaska Airlines, and Delta. Those are the 4 airlines that met this moment. And let me thank not just United, but once again, Southwest. Let me thank Alaska Airlines and thank Delta for committing to do exactly the same. And so that information is also available at our website, and we couldn't be more grateful for their largesse and their support. And by the way, that's an open-ended commitment until this crisis passes, and our commitment to the accommodations and hotels extend accordingly. So more care for our heroes, for our caregivers, at a time when we need to be there for them so that they can attend and focus on the needs of the most vulnerable patients throughout the state of California. And also, I should just extend those that are in the workforce that may have been impacted and tested positive, healthcare workers, for COVID-19. We also are providing these sites, these hotel rooms, as isolation rooms, as quarantines for those individuals as well. And those that have also been exposed and are worried about their health and their process of getting back results in their tests, that can't go to work until those test results come back. These are also hotel rooms that are set aside for you. And so I just want to thank all our partners in that endeavor, and also all the individuals. We did one of those Zoom calls about 10 days ago, and universally, this was the #1 ask for the people that participated in that call. And these were representatives of our doctors, the California Medical Association, our Nurses Association, Bonnie and her team, April, SCIU, and Bob, and Dave Regan, and others that all participated in that. And they said this was one of the top asks of their members and one of the most important things we can do to help with their stress and ease their anxiety, also their financial burden.